Hi, it's Alex from Learn to Code London here, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through the process to create your very first web page using HTML. We're going to be focusing on the fundamentals here and just using a simple text editor to code and then view the results in a web browser. This video is supporting material for my free tutorial, which you can find on my blog, how to make your own website. And it's really just demonstrating what I'm discussing in this blog post, which is an introduction to web coding using HTML. We're going to be using SublimeText editor for this example. SublimeText editor is really great in that it gives you two features that are pretty much essential in modern programming. The first one is auto-completion. So it will actually try to guess, as you code, it will try to complete the code for you, which is really useful. It takes a little while to get used to this, but once you get used to it, it'll really speed things up as a developer. The other thing that you want in a good text editor is syntax highlighting. So each language will have its own syntax and keywords, and you really want the text editor to highlight those for you to make the code more readable and understandable, so you can quickly at a glance see what's going on. So we're going to be really just working through the example page here, and I'm just going to show you the process, how to get that up and running, and that's really the purpose of this video, is to support the blog post. So if I bring up SublimeText editor here, and the first thing you want to do when creating an HTML document is set the doctype to HTML. This basically identifies this as an HTML document. When we're coding in HTML, we have something called tags. So HTML means hypertext markup language, and the reason it's called markup is because it's marking up content using tags. So here is an example of a tag being opened. So here, read this as open HTML. To close the tag, it's exactly the same, but you have a slash in front of it. So read this as start the HTML document, read this as end the HTML document. It's important to kind of get familiar with the syntax and understand what these kind of acronyms mean and read them in a human readable form. That's the best way to really learn. So if you notice at the moment, all the text is white on a black background, which is great. But now if we save this file onto our desktop and we call it index.html, notice how I'm giving it the extension .html. This will identify it to all different programs, including a browser, as an HTML document. So if we save that, you notice that Sublime has picked up that we're working with HTML and started to format it, highlight it correctly. You can see how much easier it is to read there. So now we've got our document, basic structure. Each HTML document also has two parts, a head and a body. So we're just going to set up that structure. And you notice when I'm typing, as soon as I'm typing the slash, Sublime is finishing off the code for me. So this takes a while to get used to, but this is really useful to get going with. So the head basically describes some metadata, data about the actual document. It's not something that's going to be displayed within the viewing pane of a web browser. So we're going to give our very simple web page a title. We're going to call it Hello World. And finish off our title tag. We're going to move into the body area, and we're going to give our body a header. We're going to say Hello World again. And we're going to start a paragraph. And end a paragraph. So if we now save this, and then really want to find it on our desktop, which is here, if we open up a new tab in the browser and drag it into here, then you'll see that the address bar is pointing to the file on our desktop, and the browser has, read our HTML code and displayed the content of that HTML page. Now we can do something really cool, and this works with any website. If you right click and click on View Page Source, I'm on a Mac and using Chrome, Google Chrome web browser, but it will be very similar on other operating systems and other web browsers. It might take a little bit of Googling or something like that, but this is the basics. If you view the source, then you will see the actual source code of the document, of the web page, I'm sorry. So that's pretty much it. That's the process. And then if we set up our kind of development loop, if you like, so if we put the browser on one side, we've got our code here, then we can quite quickly start to change this around. So for example, I don't know, maybe say make this bold. So I'll quickly just show that and then save it. And if we just refresh this, and you see the result straight away, this is in bold. So this is what I mean by an iterative loop of development, making changes, saving the file, and viewing the results very quickly. This allows us to kind of develop very, very quickly indeed, make sure we're not breaking things with every change. So I hope you enjoyed this demonstration of how to create your very first HTML document. Check out the blog post and the tutorial, which this is just a starting point, just to get you started very, very quickly. And check out the other sections in the description. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers, guys.